It's a nice sell-off on Bitcoin today. It's what we would call a classic retrace of the reversal off the lows.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. Gareth Soloway breaks down Bitcoin and crypto price predictions and key market analysis. Will Bitcoin crash? Let's watch him uncover the insights.
No time to delay here. We'll jump over to the big board, cover the levels. Here are the charts. The Dow was down 100 points, so a little bit of a drop on the Dow. The NASDAQ was up nicely. Most of the Magnificent Seven were up. In fact, I think all of them were up going into Google earnings after the bell. By the way, Google is getting smoked after hours. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. S&P, small loss here. So you can see, again, the NASDAQ was carried. Look, Apple, NVIDIA, Google, Meta, all of the big players, Amazon over here, up nicely. So the big green was all about the NASDAQ right here, while the rest of the market struggled just a little bit. Now, oil, folks, flat to positive. As I had mentioned, we talked about how I was looking to take profits on my oil short. I did take the remainder off the table. We'll go over that chart. And luckily for us in Smart Money Commodities and Miners, we did see a bounce back here on oil. So it looks like a great exit. We'll go over that chart in just a second. Gold today up again. Gold is a monster. It just keeps going up, folks. You got to think it's at 28.41 already. It's got to be, you figure at some point this year it's at 3,000. Could be sooner than later by the way things are going. Bitcoin really struggling. Bitcoin's getting dumped out here late in the day. We're going to go into that, but remember, we know our levels. 92,000 on the downside is technical support. We'll see if that holds if we test it. We tested it yesterday. And then what do we have on the upside? We know the 108 to 111 level on the upside is key. Okay, quickly just going into this, then we're going to get into these earnings. The S&P 500 or the SPY up a little bit again today. But really, as a trader, you want to be agnostic. You don't want to have preconceived notions. You want to just be like, listen, what are the levels? What has to hold? What doesn't? This is your lower level. If that holds, markets are still in an uptrend. If that breaks, watch out below. On the upside, you have your double top right up here, right? Or triple top as it may be. That's your upside ceiling for now. If that breaks, this line extends out, that would be your next target. But right now, we're between here and here, here and here on the markets. It again, whichever way breaks, you should get a big move. If this breaks, big drop. If this breaks, big pop to the upside. All right, let's get into these earnings, guys, because we got a lot to discuss here. The Google earnings have hit the market, and take a look at Google trading down on earnings. Big flush here. We closed the day on the charts at 206. We are trading at 192 right now. Let's look at the charts here. So I had this bigger parallel that I talked about in the game plan this morning. We talked about how it was unlikely Google would go down here, / Alphabet. Obviously, I know the name is Alphabet, but it'll always be Google to me. What we're looking at here is a level at around 190. And down to about 189 and change. This is a big area of support. I am not a swing trade buyer there. What I'm going to look for is a move down to this level tomorrow, 182. See this high pivot right here, and then this low. That is going to be big support, followed by the gap fill here at 175.60, and then the lower parallel. Those, for me, those are support number 1, support number 2, support number 3. All right, but right now, as we just showed, look at that drop on Google, nasty drop. Now let's go to AMD. Now AMD initially surged to the upside. Look at this, popping up here, then reversing back to the downside. Again, look at this. We were right into resistance. If it could have held above this level, you'd have a big breakout, but right now it's getting pounded back down in the after hours. Going back to the after hours action, we're trading around 116 currently on the charts. We're going to watch to see where this goes. But if we go to the daily chart, how low could it go if it continues to sell off? Well, really, when all is said and done, look at this. Look at this area here. This is where I will swing trade along. Listen, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to have a great level for tomorrow. Right now, I don't. But I'll tell you one thing. If this ever gets back to this $80 level right down here, that to me is very, very interesting. But suffice it to say here, right? So if we talk about what we're looking at here on the charts, if we're looking at these levels, what we have to recognize is Google's down and AMD's down. That sets us up right now to be potentially under pressure tomorrow in the tech sector because those are the two big names. Now, tomorrow after the bell, I think we might have Amazon, unless it's on Thursday. That could change the narrative. But right now, these tech earnings are coming in a little weaker than expected.
Bitcoin is once again at the center of market turmoil, reacting sharply to U.S. President Donald Trump's short-lived tariff threat on Canada, Mexico, and China. The leading cryptocurrency plunged to $91,500 before rebounding to $100,000, but the uncertainty has left investors on edge. The sudden swings wiped out $2.3 billion from the crypto market, and experts believe the turbulence is far from over. Noel Atchison sees Bitcoin developing into a haven asset in the long run. She believes that if the tariff scare fades quickly, risk assets like Bitcoin will recover. However, if tensions escalate, Bitcoin could still benefit as investors look for protection against currency depreciation. A weakening U.S. dollar could also play a role in boosting Bitcoin's price. Skybridge Capital CEO Anthony Scaramucci remains optimistic despite short-term volatility. He believes institutional adoption of Bitcoin will be a game-changer. With over 60% of his personal wealth in Bitcoin, he sees crypto as a long-term winner. Mena Theodorou of CoinStash warns that volatility will persist as investors remain nervous. Gold has surged to new highs, and the U.S. dollar index is at its peak, showing a clear flight to safety. However, Trump's recent move to create a sovereign wealth fund, which might include digital assets, suggests that crypto could still find government support. Keiko research analysts note that market sentiment is mixed, with low short-term funding rates signaling uncertainty. Expiring options contracts suggest that traders expect volatility to be temporary, but Trump's unpredictability makes forecasting difficult. Jeff Park of Bitwise believes Trump's ultimate goal is to weaken the U.S. dollar without triggering high interest rates. If successful, Bitcoin could be one of the biggest beneficiaries. However, if the tariff war continues, economic strain may lead to more money printing, a scenario that has historically fueled Bitcoin's rise.
And we take a look at Bitcoin. What do we have here, guys? We have Bitcoin again with a nice sell-off coming back down. It's not back down to its technical lows just yet. This is the level to watch right here, all the way through these lows. So listen, it's down today. Who cares? The only thing that matters as a technical trader is this level here. This is where I start to pay attention. All right, anything in here, honestly, this is all noise. All noise. It's up one day, it's down one day, big pop, big drop. Who cares? What you want to be aware of as a technician is this level at 92 and then this zone right up here at 108,000 to 111,000. That's where the bigger move is going to come, depending on which way we break. So yes, it's a nice sell-off on Bitcoin today. It's what we would call a classic retrace of the reversal off the lows yesterday. The big thing only comes in if it takes out that low. All right, quickly, let's flip over to gold and just take a check-in on gold's action here. Gold, again, it just continues to go higher. I am getting some overbought signals more and more on the charts, so I'm kind of partial to thinking we might be due for a pullback, although the pullback would be somewhat on the shallower side, only taking us back to 27.90, but would not shock me to see over the next couple days a pullback on that. Now, silver, I had an upside target at 32.25. Take a look at this, guys. Where did it go today? 32.25 right there, pulled back a little bit. So this now target has been achieved on silver. Will it break out here? We don't know, but what I did know is this was going to be resistance, and so far, if we zoom in, pierced the level and got rejected and came back in. Oil, take a look at this, guys. This is pretty cool. Here was that level that I was saying I was most likely going to take off my second half of the oil short at. Look at this, right down there today, and bounces right back up. Now, listen, could it go down further tomorrow? Sure, it could. Could do anything it wants. But what I did know is this was going to be technical support, and so I took my second half of my short on oil off right there. Lastly, natural gas here, guys. Nat gas not doing anything. This is resistance up around 350. Technical support for me to potentially go long would be around 260. It's trading below a breakdown level, so it favors the downside, but there's no trading signal that is high probability, for me at least, when we're just speaking about these. All right. Lastly, let's just go back and check in on Google real quick. Alphabet, as we call it. If we go to our after-hours action, it's basically stabilized in this $92, $192 range, but we will see. I'll be back tomorrow morning, folks, with the game plan, and we'll look for trading levels going into the day. We're going to look at the data. Tomorrow we'll get ADP private sector data out at 8:15 in the morning, so we'll watch that. But again, from today, from the market, relatively quiet float day for most of the indices, especially the NASDAQ was strong while the S&P and the Dow were weak. After hours today, that's where the fireworks began. It means tomorrow is going to be a good trading day.
Ohio is making another push to integrate Bitcoin into its financial system. Senator Sandra O'Brien has introduced a bill that would allow the state's treasurer to invest in Bitcoin, creating an Ohio Bitcoin Reserve Fund. Unlike previous proposals, this bill focuses solely on Bitcoin and excludes all other cryptocurrencies. If passed, the state would be required to hold Bitcoin investments for at least 5 years, ensuring a long-term approach to digital asset management. Senator O'Brien believes Ohio needs to take a leadership role in the crypto space, especially with the growing influence of digital assets in national policy. She pointed out that with President Trump's administration focusing on crypto regulation, Ohio should be prepared to act swiftly when federal recommendations emerge. The bill also mandates that state agencies accept cryptocurrency for payments, including taxes, fees, and fines. Any crypto received would be converted into Bitcoin and added to the reserve. Additionally, Ohio residents, government agencies, and universities would be allowed to donate Bitcoin to the fund, with a recognition program for significant contributors. This is not Ohio's first attempt to embrace Bitcoin. In December, Republican leader Derek Merrin proposed a similar bill, emphasizing the need for the state to hedge against the devaluation of the U.S. dollar. Other states, including Utah and Arizona, are also exploring Bitcoin reserve legislation, reflecting a growing trend of states seeking financial stability through crypto investments. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.